Fun times, Mike. What can you tell us about the situation with Jerry Jones and the commissioner?
Well, it was funny. I heard the other night that Jerry Jones was no longer part of the compensation committee. He had kind of wedged his way onto it, and he'd been pushing the agenda of fighting back against the terms of the contract. I didn't know why he wasn't, but then as of yesterday when the New York Times reported it, well, now I know why they booted him off the committee. He's threatened litigation. No one knows if he's serious about it. Friday is the day to watch to see if something gets filed. Nobody knows what legal theories he may have. You can't just sue someone because you don't like what they did. You have to have some basis for it, breach of contract, some sort of right that is recognized by law that in some way has been violated. And no one knows what his claims would be. But Jerry is so determined to try to block this extension process. He's tried it internally with owners. He's tried it externally with Papa John. And now he's potentially going to try it through the court system. And it all traces to the belief, and this was reported yesterday by Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, that the commissioner lied to Jerry about Ezekiel Elliott not being suspended. And Jones, even though he's not linking the two, I think Jones is motivated by that upset that he has over being told something other than the truth. At least that's what he believes. He may have misheard him. It may be a misunderstanding. Who knows? But he believes he was lied to. And that's apparently what's motivating.
Yeah, I was told last night that the Clarence Hill report was true. It was accurate that the commissioner said one thing, and then all of a sudden, went back on that, and then Ezekiel Elliott gets suspended, and that's why Jerry's upset. And it feels like Jerry wants to say to the commissioner, hey, I'm your boss. You're the commissioner. I'm your boss. And I'm going to delay this. I'm going to let you know that I can make your life miserable. I still think he gets the contract extension. Now, you did bring up Papa John's. What happened in that?
Well, this has never been admitted, but I think the circumstances make it clear that when John Schnatter, the CEO of Papa John's, on a quarterly earnings call, read from prepared remarks that just blasted the NFL's leadership for the lingering anthem controversy and linked ongoing revenue declines for Papa John's to the league's declining ratings, that was instigated by Jerry Jones, who owns all or part of 120 Papa John's stores. And when Jones was asked about it, he didn't do anything to distance himself from the remarks. He essentially clapped Schnatter on the back and said he's a great American and he understands the consumer. And, essentially everything he said is true. So that I feel like that was another attempt. He's trying everything he can. He's emptying the bag with every club in there to try to stop this extension. And we've got, the effort to build enough support within the ownership ranks. That's not working. Sponsorship pressure, that really didn't last more than a day or two, and now this effort to file suit. And, he's not going to give up, right or wrong, successful or unsuccessful. You don't get the impression he's going to give up.
Ezekiel Elliott finds out if he's going to be able to play the rest of the season. Is it next week?
Well, there's a hearing today at 2 o'clock Eastern, and I suspect that there'll be a ruling by tomorrow morning at the latest, maybe by the end of the day. They could rule from the bench. It's going to be 3 judges. They weren't supposed to do a hearing. Elliott's people were shocked that a hearing was scheduled. These motions typically get handled. This isn't the full-blown appeal. It's an intermediate step. They typically get handled without a hearing, and they were happy to hear that there was a hearing. They view that as good news, and they think it means that these judges are taking it very seriously. It's a very extraordinary remedy to put an injunction in place on a temporary basis at the appeals court level. That's what they're trying to do. And then if he wins that, and he could find out as soon as today, he plays until the full appeal of the decision from last week is resolved, which, who knows when that's going to come. And there still is a chance that Elliott finds out he's suspended middle of December and the 6 games bleed into the postseason if the Cowboys make it.
Yeah, it's a mess, man. It's a mess. He's Mike Florio, ProFootballTalk.com and Pro Football Talk on NBC Sports Network. I also saw Teddy Bridgewater. Wait, is Teddy Bridgewater going to be the starter in Minnesota at some point this season?
I think the key is knowing when to flip the switch, right? You have to have a feel for the right time to go from Case Keenum to Teddy Bridgewater. Case Keenum has played better than expected in the time that he's played this year in place of Sam Bradford. But they haven't faced a really tough schedule, and Keenan hasn't been dueling franchise quarterbacks. He's beaten guys like Brett Hundley, Deshaun Kaiser, Joe Flacco, who isn't the guy that he used to be. I mean, it has not been a murderer's row that they've faced. But now they've got guys coming up like Kirk Cousins. They've got Cam Newton looming. They've got Matthew Stafford down the line. They've got Jared Goff and the Rams coming to town. And I think the key is going to be for the coaching staff to know when to go from Keenum to Bridgewater. And here's the reality. Bridgewater's never played for Pat Shermer, the offensive coordinator. He played for Norv Turner. He was ready to go last year, as of late August, with Norv Turner, tore the ACL, had other damage, and now that he's back, it's a different offense, and I think that's a factor. Even though the knee's healed and he's ready to go, when does he know the offense, and when do the Vikings think Keenum has dipped enough to open the door for Bridgewater? And if Keenum keeps playing well, who knows how long Bridgewater sits on the bench.
Thank you, Mike. Great to talk to you again. I'll see you on Sunday.
All right, see you, Dan.
That's Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.